you trust these devious plays, or do you think we're easy prey? Do you support the fallen cornerback, or demand his head now? And the biggest question, do you believe we can bury the final villain in his bear's grave? If you're ready for war, subscribe now before this blows up on social media, and find out first how our star DT plans to dismantle the enemy in the next explosive analysis. You know what's got me absolutely stoked? What Ben Johnson is doing in these training sessions is unreal. And I'm telling you, this man is cooking up something that's going to completely revolutionize our offense. Listen up. Thursday was the last day of mandatory minicamp, and Johnson decided it was time to show his hand. Did you see the footage of Darnell Wright catching one-handed passes like he's DeAndre Hopkins? I think Johnson's not messing around. This guy's evaluating each player to know exactly who can pull off his most devastating trick plays. But you know what's really blowing my mind? It's not just Wright. According to Adam Jans, all the offensive linemen were catching passes. The receivers were throwing the balls, and even the quarterbacks were running routes as receivers. I'm asking, when was the last time you saw anything like this in Chicago? Johnson himself confirmed when he said, "I let these guys know we only do this once a year. It's an evaluation. We'll revisit this in training camp and during the season to see who we can trust to catch or throw the ball." Did you hear that? Johnson is already planning to use these plays in real games. And you know what else intrigues me? The comparison Johnson made between Wright and Penei Sewell. In Detroit, Johnson used Sewell in memorable trick plays that left defenses completely bamboozled. Sewell is a 6'5", 330-pound tackle who can catch passes like a tight end. Now Johnson has Wright, who stands 6'5" and weighs 333 pounds, doing exactly the same thing. But here's what really gets me excited. Remember the Lions' play against Seattle last season? Jared Goff ran a route down the sideline, and Amon-Ra St. Brown threw him a perfect touchdown pass. Johnson already mentioned he can see Caleb Williams doing something similar. Picture this. Williams running down the sideline, DJ Moore throws him a perfect pass, 40-yard touchdown. I believe this is going to happen, and defenses are not going to know what to do. But do you know why this is so important? Johnson comes from being the most innovative offensive coordinator in the NFL. In Detroit, his offense averaged 29.5 points per game last season, third best in the league. And he did it with plays no one expected. I'm telling you, if Johnson can make an offense without elite talent the third best in the NFL, imagine what he can do with Williams, Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze. And you know what gives me more confidence? Johnson said this isn't just fun, it's strategic preparation. He's building chemistry, but he's also pinpointing exactly which players can execute which plays. Wright showed he can make spectacular catches, so now we know Johnson has a 333-pound tackle who can run routes. I think we're going to see plays that we can't even imagine. Johnson already revolutionized Detroit's offense, and now he's got better players in Chicago. I'm asking, are you ready to see the Bears run the most unpredictable offense in the NFL? Now let's dive into something that's got me completely torn emotionally. And I need to be completely honest with you about Tyrique Stevenson and this whole Hail Mary Do you remember that dreadful moment on October 27th against Washington? There are 2 seconds left. Jaden Daniels throws a Hail Mary from his own 35, and while the ball's in the air, what's our starting cornerback doing? Taunting the Chicago crowd to be quiet. Noah Brown catches the pass, 52-yard touchdown, we lose 18-15. I think that was one of the most painful and embarrassing moments in recent Bears history. But listen to what Stevenson said at his Wednesday press conference. "There's no conversation that needs to be had. I took accountability. It was a mistake. I simply play a sport where my mistake is broadcasted nationally. I feel that by reviewing with me and going over the meetings, they can see I took responsibility. I owe nothing to last year's guys except effort, and they see I'm putting it in. You know what? I'm telling you, I respect that he takes responsibility, but words aren't enough in this business. I ask you, can you trust a player who already failed us in the most critical moment? Because I'm going to tell you something. That mistake wasn't just a bad decision. It was a mental lapse that cost us a desperately needed win. But you know what complicates this for me? Stevenson's rookie season numbers were impressive. 86 tackles, 16 passes defended, 4 interceptions. He started 16 games as a rookie. The Bears even traded picks to draft him in the second round, 56th overall. That means the organization strongly believed in his potential. His 2024 season was disappointing in comparison. 78 tackles, 12 passes defended, only 2 interceptions. His Pro Football Focus rating was a dismal 58.9, placing him 134th out of 222 qualified cornerbacks. Those numbers are unacceptable for a starting corner, especially when your teammate, Jaylon Johnson, had an all-pro season. But you know what gives me genuine hope? The new coaches. Dennis Allen, the new defensive coordinator, comes from New Orleans, where he developed one of the best defenses in the NFL for years. Allen is giving Stevenson exactly what he needs: the confidence to play aggressive press cornerback. Stevenson explained, "Allen lets us earn our money. His scheme builds your confidence. The more confident I am, the more capable I'll be of making any play." I think this is crucial because Stevenson always played better when he was confident and aggressive. And Al Harris? This guy played 14 seasons in the NFL as a corner, including years with Green Bay, where he was a 2-time bowler. Harris knows exactly what's needed to succeed in this position and is working with Stevenson on the smallest detail. Listen to what Stevenson said about some of his advice: how to align, how to watch posture and separations. The system more than the player. I feel he's teaching all that, and it's sticking with me. Understanding that certain players run certain routes. Certain offensive coordinators use certain routes. Instead of playing the man, you play the concept. You know what I find? Stevenson didn't want to call it a new beginning, but said, I wouldn't say a fresh start, just some of the guys coming out with the same mindset. It's time to hunt. I think that hunter mindset is exactly what he needs. But here's the brutal reality. Stevenson doesn't have a spot locked in. Jaylon Johnson and Kyler Gordon already have their positions secured in the secondary. Stevenson is competing to keep his CB2 spot, and the competition is going to be fierce during training camp. I'm asking, does he deserve a second chance after what happened? I think he does, but only if he shows that mental mistake will never. He's 25, under contract until 2026 at a team-friendly rate, and the talent is there, but the mental confidence has to be there too. And now comes the nuclear bomb that's going to blow up not only Chicago, but the entire NFL. Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback who has dominated and tortured us for over a decade, just signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And guess what? We're going to face him head-on at Soldier Field on November 23rd. But do you know what's got me most upset? What Rodgers said in May on the Ya Never Know podcast. Listen to this exactly. The best thing about Chicago fans is they say every year, this is our year, this is our year. We added this guy and that. Guy! We have a new coach from Detroit. Oh my God, watch out. Packers fans, we know that. And what does every coach who signs with the Bears say? We have to beat the Packers, right? The Packers don't give a damn. I'm telling you, those words cut deep because there's some truth to them, and that's what hurts the most. But now, we have the perfect chance to shut him up forever. Tom Pelissero of NFL Network confirmed the news that changed everything. Renegade A-Rod. The 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers informed the Steelers he'll fly to Pittsburgh Friday and sign before next week's minicamp. Finally, a done deal. 41-year-old Rodgers will play his 21st NFL season in black and gold. Do you know Rodgers' brutal numbers against us? 24 wins, 5 losses. That's a .828 winning percentage. In the 29 games against Chicago, he's thrown for 6,965 yards, 64 touchdowns, and only 10 interceptions. I'm asking, how can one man have dominated us so much? But here's the fact that hurts the most. The last time we beat Aaron Rodgers was December 16th, 2018. Nearly 7 years without beating him. 7 years. He's won 4 consecutive games against us, and some of those games were downright humiliating. Remember when he said, I own you, after running for a touchdown at Soldier Field? I'll never forget that image. Rodgers running toward our crowd and yelling at our fans that he owned us. It was the most disrespectful moment in the history of our rivalry. But you know what? Things have changed. Rodgers isn't in Green Bay anymore, where he had an elite offensive line and receivers who knew his plays perfectly. He's in Pittsburgh with a completely new system, new coaches, new receivers. He's not the same Rodgers from 2020 and 2021 when he won back-to-back MVPs. And you know what else has changed? Us. We have Ben Johnson as head coach, the most innovative offensive coordinator in the NFL. We have Caleb Williams, the #1 draft pick quarterback with an incredible arm and mobility that Rodgers no longer has. We have DJ Moore, Keenan, Allen, Rome Odunze, the best receivers we've had in decades. On defense, we have Montez Sweat, who can pressure Rodgers constantly. We have Jalen Johnson, who can cover any receiver Pittsburgh has. And we have Dennis Allen as defensive coordinator, the man who helped create New Orleans' most aggressive defense. But here's what really excites me. Rodgers is 41 years old. His legs aren't the same. His arm doesn't have the same strength, and his ability to escape pressure has significantly diminished. Bears fans are hoping November will be like 2010, when we helped end Brett Favre's career with Minnesota. Remember that game? Favre was with the Vikings, had tormented Green Bay for years, and we destroyed him completely. Julius Peppers pressured him all night. Our defense hit him constantly, and Favre never recovered. I think we can do the exact same thing with Rodgers. But do you know why this game is more important than any other? Because it's at home, at Soldier Field, on November 23rd. Our fans are going to be absolutely bonkers. It's going to be the loudest game in Soldier Field history. And we're finally going to have the offensive weapons to compete with any team. I'm telling you, November 23rd isn't just going to be a game, it's going to be war. It'll be revenge for all the years of humiliation. It'll be our chance to prove that Ben Johnson and this new era of Chicago can beat the man who has tortured us for a complete decade. I'm asking, are you ready for war? Because I believe this will be the game to define our entire season. What do you think about Johnson's secret plays? Will they be enough to shock the league and create the most unpredictable offense in the NFL? Does Stevenson deserve a second chance after the Hail Mary disaster? Or has he lost his credibility forever with that unforgivable mental mistake? And the burning question for all of us, can we finally beat Aaron Rodgers when he comes to Chicago in November? Or will he remain our football father even with the Steelers? Listen to me, Chicago Bears family. These 3 pieces of news will completely define our 2025 season. Johnson is prepping secret weapons that could revolutionize the game. Stevenson seeks redemption after the team's most costly mistake in recent history. And Rodgers returns for a final showdown that could close the most painful chapter of our rivalry. But I need to know exactly what you think about each of these situations. Do you fully trust that Johnson can revolutionize our offense with these innovative plays he's secretly working on? Do you give Stevenson a full second chance after what it cost us against Washington? Or do you think that mental mistake disqualifies him forever? And are you completely ready for a full-on war against Rodgers in November? Or are you afraid he'll humiliate us again in our own house? Leave your detailed comments below. Tell me if you completely agree with me, or if you think something totally different. This community is a true family, and we need to stand united to support our Bears this season. That's going to be absolutely crucial for the franchise's future. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it right now, because more explosive news and in-depth analysis are coming that only true fans will know first. We're going to keep an eye on Johnson's every move, Stevenson's every practice, and every statement about the game against Rodgers. Subscribe, give it a like, share your most honest opinions in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video with more exclusive news and detailed analysis of the Chicago Bears. Bear down forever, family.